I like being drunk with people.
There we go.
There it is.
Fade in, music fade out.
That's
I like
right.
being
That's
drunk
right.
with people.
But yeah, it's just like I like altered states of consciousness. Period. So like we'll start there.
Yeah.
But like being drunk by yourself is kind of like, okay, now what?
Yeah. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm sure there's plenty of people who, they're like, well, I like being drunk, and so I drink by myself. And it's like, oh yeah, fair enough.
Mhm.
But alcohol is definitely a social lubricant, I feel like. So, you know, my my thoughts are already loosey goosey by myself.
Yeah. No, I don't really need help. Like, if I'm going to get silly on my own, I'm already there.
Yeah, well, it's funny you bring that up. I was washing my hands after I took a pee for whatever reason. Hold on, let me take that. I was washing my hands because I took a pee. So let's get that straight. But
Washing your hands after you pee. What?
for some reason, I don't know.
Okay.
Trying something new here, and and for whatever reason, I just looked at myself and just went in the mirror, and and I didn't, and it wasn't until after it happened I was like, what was that? Like, why did you do that? Like, I have no idea. It just the silly must have needed to be let loose. But I kind of looked around. I'm like, because I mean, Tay and the kids are here, and I was just like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
What?
yelling out loud in the bathroom. Like, what was that? Very Tourette's of you.
Yeah, that shit comes out for me all the time, and I feel like it's probably mostly because I live alone. But like, I'll be cooking dinner and I'll just start singing like nonsense, like just dumb shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'll kind of look up and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, and it's funny because to a certain extent, like when you're by yourself, I very much do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You want to entertain yourself, and if you can have a good time by yourself, I think that's definitely a positive trait to have. You can be alone and entertain yourself. I think that's very good. But sometimes when you're on autopilot and you're doing it, and then you catch yourself and you kind of look at yourself like an observer, that's when I think it starts to, from your perspective at least, be strange. Oh, I've just been, but if I were to watch myself,
Yeah,
I've just been going, blah, 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 for 30 minutes.
yeah, exactly. Like if I looked up and somebody had just walked into my apartment, I'd be pretty embarrassed, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
However, if I were to have walked in your apartment and you were doing that, I would be like,
Yeah, of course.
That's what's going on.
I mean, we used to live together. We've done that to each other.
Well, without getting in too much detail, it just made me think of when I was on my knees in the middle of the den.
Yeah.
And you walked out, and I'm just like on my knees looking up by myself, and I look at you, and I was about to explain, and you're like, nope,
No.
you don't need to explain.
I think I had just gotten home from a shift at Chipotle, and I was like, nope. I was like, you're good.
You're good. Continue. Because I was on my knees in joy, like I was just kind of basking in the good times, and
I was just walking to my bedroom, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but I know he's happy.
Yeah. Like, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about explaining. You just have your moment, and
Exactly.
do you want to say hi to Tay real quick before we hop on in?
I absolutely do. Get your butt over here, Tay.
All right, let's see if I can find her.
Hey,
Yo, what's up?
both girls are asleep, so that's what's up.
Nice.
Thank God.
Is this your usual afternoon nap time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't nap though, so it's it's impossible for me to nap now.
Yeah. Are
It's
you
like,
just like on alert at all times, basically?
yeah, and I'm like, this needs to be done. This needs to be done later. This needs to be done tomorrow. I got to do this. Yeah.
My God. Well,
It threw me off to see Tay there on the screen. I was like, "Whoa, how are you doing that?"
Aren't you nice? I'm so
yeah,
excited for New Year's though.
I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I need it so bad too.
Yeah,
Just to,
we've got our Airbnb blocked off. Kiddos are going to grandparents for the night. So
Hell
we'll
yeah.
have, for the first time ever, because since we've launched the Airbnb, we like don't go down there unless it's not booked, and most of the time it's booked, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll just be a novel experience for us to own this house and have full access to it. Oh, we can go
Yeah.
upstairs, we can go downstairs, we can go in either unit. Like, this is nice. So that'll be
Yeah.
cool.
It'll be fun. I don't even know what it looks like down there. I think the last
Right.
time we went down was like last winter. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's been a long time. So
Yeah.
hopefully it still looks good, but I'm going to go down and clean again. I don't know, just to like make me feel better and just know that I cleaned it too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And maybe bring like the lights. I have like lights, like string lights and stuff.
Oh,
So I
sick.
might, yeah, like make it look kind of fun. And
Yeah.
Tay really wants it to be a medieval theme,
Okay.
Michaela said it first,
but Tay's been really excited about it.
but
So
yeah, it was Michaela's idea, but I think it would be so fun. And we don't have to do like go super crazy, but I think it'd be fun, go to a thrift store and just get like a medieval looking dress, like whatever guys wear. I don't know.
Yeah.
chainmail.
Yeah. Chainmail vest or like a
Yeah.
leather vest, maybe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm excited. I don't currently own any dresses that pass as medieval, really, but I'm always
I
down.
don't
Would
either.
you? I know.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
awesome.
either, but I think it'd be really fun. And then
Yeah.
I think we could still do like meatloaf and potatoes because that's like with the times. I think.
Oh, that's medieval as fuck.
Yeah.
For sure.
Get some red wine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Maybe find like a chalice at a thrift store. I'm sure you
Remember, I think it was like Pub. Pub had some really nice
Yeah,
chalice.
like fish bowls. Yeah.
Big glass style things.
Yeah. Well, I
So
gotta go out tomorrow, so I'll look.
this space, this Airbnb, it's not a space I've ever seen before, right? I don't think I've ever been there.
No, I don't think
No.
so.
It's
Okay.
the same layout as up here.
But she's never been here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
because
yeah.
last New Year's, yeah, which I need to.
Yes. And then we could,
It'll be here.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
And we can block it off whenever we want. So.
Which is really nice. Yeah, it's our first time blocking it off.
But yeah, there's 2 bedrooms with queen size beds. So you'll have a room. Michael and Tay will have a room.
And then Mick will sleep up here with
probably
us.
on the couch.
Nice.
She doesn't care. But yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah. So instead of it being 2 sides, it's stacked.
So what you guys are saying up here and down there, you guys literally live on top of this place?
Yeah.
Like it's right below you? Okay, I hadn't put that together yet for some reason.
Yeah. It's like just a big brick house. And then you walk in like the front door. You walk in and there's like stairs going up and then the door to the second unit, and we go up.
Okay.
Our unit.
So the next time I come to Ohio, if it's not already booked, like why wouldn't I just stay there?
Yes, exactly. You totally could.
For free.
And
like,
of course I would pay you. Like I would book
No.
it.
We could totally block it off. We could totally block it off.
I'll make a meatloaf. How about that?
Sure. That's fine.
Deal.
Okay. stick.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's always here for you.
Okay. I didn't, I for some reason just had not put together, and I'm sure that you guys have said it, and you keep saying up there and down there, or up here and down there, but I'm like, wait, they're like literally adjacent.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. When we sometimes June will wake up in the middle of the night and we'll lay in her bed with her.
Mm-hmm.
So you can hear the guest snoring through her pillow.
Yes. Yes, you can't actually hear it until you are on her bed and then feel the vibration from the floor.
Yeah.
If I ever stay there, I will keep that in mind. I don't think I'm a big snorer, but
no, it's okay.
No, June.
Well, she won't be here anyway.
She's a tank.
Yeah, there was like last summer or something. There was like the loudest crash of lightning or of thunder that we've ever heard
in our entire lives. Like
loudest,
I thought it was a car bomb.
Loudest sound probably ever.
Yeah.
We were dead asleep. It was like, I don't know, 1 a.m. or something like that.
No clue.
But yeah, she didn't even wake up. No sound.
Tan and I both like, what the fuck? Like, is there like a terrorist or something? Or like, did someone just like,
yeah, I thought
like, what
something
is this?
blew up.
And then like the rumble, the thunder still kept going, and we were just waiting, and June slept right through it. I'm like, that was the loudest noise of my life. Like, how is this possible? And then last night, the smoke detector in her room was beeping low battery.
Mm-hmm.
Tay opened the door. I brought a chair in, took it down, and then Tay closed the door, all without her waking up, with the beeping happening in her room. We were like, what? It's kind of concerning.
It's kind of awesome though too. Like at least she's getting
very
solid C's. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. But yeah, super excited to see everybody.
Yeah, me too. Mm-hmm. Get a new dress, make a meatloaf, hang out.
See what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like if we want to go somewhere, like we can talk about like, you know, splitting an Uber, but I'm cool staying here and just like owning the house.
Yeah.
Whatever works.
Yeah.
Whatever works. Yeah, we'll just see if there's anything going on.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, should we knock this thing out?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Get to it. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Love you.
Enjoy nap time. Love you.
Thanks.
Oh yeah.
Good. So anyway, back to drinking alone.
Yeah, continue.
No, I'm mostly joking. I think I said all I wanted to say on that topic. I don't really drink. I don't know if we've talked about this very much over the last few years, but I'm at the point where I like almost exclusively don't drink. Like I will occasionally, like if I'm at a work dinner with colleagues, or like if I'm with a small group of friends, I will sometimes order a cocktail, and then I can usually have the discipline to like cut myself off at one. But like at this point, we're talking like I drink like 4 times a year, basically. Like,
listen, I'm right there with you. I'm trying to think. I went to Athens with my old roommate Sean in July. Mm-hmm. And so we were in Athens, and so we got after it pretty classically.
Well, you got to.
So it's like time and place. You know, I'm at OU. We're gonna make it happen. But at the same time, we were adamant about like we got Goodfellas twice.
Nice.
I think we had pizza. So we had pizza 3 times because we had pizza at the at courtside. Mm-hmm. And we were in bed before 1 a.m.
Wow.
So like not terrible. Granted, you know, we got to OU, I think at 1 and started drinking at like 2-ish. So from, you know, it was 2 to 12.
Full like 10-hour day.
Full 10-hour day. But other than that, like I mean, I didn't drink for 3 months from December of 24 to March of 25, and I don't think I really drank even after that. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, I think I had a beer on my birthday, maybe
Mm-hmm.
two,
Yeah.
as I was grilling out. It's summer, so
Right.
like every once in a while, just a drink or something. But
Mm-hmm.
for the most part, if I have 2 or 3 drinks, the next morning I can tell I slept worse, and I get like a runny nose, just like mild flu symptoms, just from the body picking up on the poison
Yeah.
that's causing inflammation, and
Exactly.
uh, and it's just not worth it. Uh,
No,
and
not.
alcohol, like even like a good beer or a good cocktail, you can still taste the alcohol, and alcohol, I think, tastes bad. And so, like, at the
Yep.
end of the day, if I'm waking up and I slept worse because I had something that, while I can appreciate, kind of still tastes like poison,
Mm-hmm.
then what are we doing here?
Right. Yeah. Why would I make myself feel like shit?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And again, like, you know, when I was in Athens in July, I like to be drunk. It's just getting there, the
Yeah.
volume that it takes to fill up your stomach. Not that I can like go crazy and drink a bunch, but
Right.
still, the volume you have to put into your body, and then the balance of keeping it going versus like getting way too drunk,
Mm-hmm.
or getting too sleepy, then balancing it with trying not to feel like terrible in the morning.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort for very minimal reward. And so that's why it's like, okay, if I'm going to get drunk, it's going to be a couple times a year, and it's going to be worth it because I'm with people I love and we're doing
Yeah.
something funny, or, it's an event. Um,
100%. Yeah.
yes.
No, if I went back to Athens right now, and particularly if I was with friends, like if I was with you or like any of the Millhouse crew,
Yeah.
you could tell me like, "Hey, we're going to go over to Jackie O's and post up for a few hours." I'd be like, "Great, I'm going to get the drunkest I've been since college, probably." And
Yes. Right.
that would just be, I would probably feel like shit the next day, but I'd be like, "Here we go. Like this is an event. This is what we're doing this week."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. And like, when we went, it was with the knowledge. It's like, okay, this is when checkout of the, because we were at OUN.
Mhm.
This is when checkout is. We're going to get breakfast. I know I'm not going to be back until 2 or 3 p.m. And
Mhm.
Tay's cool with it.
Mhm.
So I actually have a little bit of the morning to burn because I have nothing to do except
Mhm.
wake up and go to brunch with the people I was with the day before.
Right.
And so, and so like, versus most weekends, I don't, I can't even talk about being hungover. I got kids,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you better not be.
right, right. You got kids, and so, and that adds a whole nother thing. But even before we had kids, like when Tay and I were in North Carolina, I don't buy alcohol really to have at home unless I know there's going to be people coming over, and then it stays in the fridge or in a cupboard for God knows how long. But there was a period where when Michaela lived briefly with us, and we were drinking wine a
Mhm.
lot. Like not a lot, but we got like a free trial of, it's the company that delivers wine to your house in a box.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called. We did that for a bit, but outside of that, 6 months would go by without drinking,
Mm.
and I wouldn't even think about it because
Totally.
what it because there's nothing to do.
There's
Um,
nothing to miss. Like I don't miss it when I'm not
no,
doing
not at all, not at all.
it. No.
Glad we got to do it. Um,
Totally. Yeah.
Super glad we got to do it. Tay and I were on our way to a friend's house yesterday. Her name is Brittany, and she was actually at our wedding. She had pink hair. If you saw someone with pink hair, that would be her at our wedding. But
I'm sure I did. I don't immediately recollect.
sure,
But
sure. But we were on our way, and we were just talking about our favorite nights in Athens, and there are a million that come to mind, but it, and I don't regret, for the most part, any of the things, but the toll it took, and by the time it was the final year where you left after the first semester, and then the rest of us carried on for that final,
Uh-huh.
it was just starting to like wear heavy on the soul. Where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I've partied a bunch and it's a lot of fun, but I'm I'm seeing more of the negatives now. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Especially, you see some of like the negative drug stuff,
Yeah.
when people get deep into that, and like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, it's starting to get a little sad. Uh,
Yeah.
you're starting to see people running away from their problems,
Yeah, exactly. It's
and
more than just like this is what we do to have fun because we're together. It's more like, oh no, I'm actively like hiding from something that I should deal
yes,
with.
yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just become a rarity, and I'm good with that.
Well, and as far as like altered states of mind go, like you were saying earlier, like I'm at the point in my life where I'm like, there are better times to be had with other variations of that. Like,
Totally,
I would
totally.
rather zone out with an edible than have a drink or two.
Oh my gosh, without question. And sometimes like I some people say, like, some people that brings them introspective thoughts, and they're a little bit in their head, and
Hmm.
I feel like that to a certain degree. But if I'm like we were talking about, I'm cool with being in my head, and so if I'm by myself and like I have an edible or something, then this is great because
Yeah,
I like myself. So
exactly.
if there's more going on, and I'm not really upset about that. And sometimes what I find, because like paranoia can come with THC usage, but sometimes I kind of like if it makes me think about something from
Hmm.
like like, is this a bad thing or a good thing?
Yeah.
Because I tend to be kind of happy go lucky. And so
Uh-huh.
sometimes that can be good for me because I'll think about something like, ooh, have I been avoiding this or neglecting this, or is this something I should consider? And then, a few hours later or the next day, I can think about that thing again, be like, to what degree was I right? To what degree
Hmm.
was I wrong to feel this way?
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's right. And it's like, oh yeah, like you thought about something that you hadn't thought about, and that was good. So I think there can be I think there can actually be a net positive to that sort of state of consciousness. But like all things, I think you can also use it to run away from stuff. I mean, I definitely, like at OU, I
Oh,
wasn't doing
totally.
any of my homework, or
Yeah.
like I wasn't doing school, and so I was doing that in place of it.
Yeah.
And so that's like a negative way. It was fun, but that's like a
Totally.
negative way you can use it. Whereas now it's like I've kind of grown up, and you know
Yeah.
I can hang better.
Exactly. Yeah.
um,
I relate to that a lot because I definitely understand the like paranoia that can creep in, and I've definitely had moments where I've been like in my own head about things for sure. But it's it's on like a state of mind I can sometimes work my way into whether I'm high or not. Like I can do it sober as well, is like if there's like a little voice that's kind of nagging away at me, that's like maybe something I've been feeling or something going on in my life or a problem that I need to solve, I can approach it with a lot of kindness. And so like
mm,
rather than getting paranoid or getting worried about it, like the language that I use a lot to kind of circumvent that is like, I want to get curious about this. Like,
ooh,
why do I feel this way? Like, what is causing me to feel this way? Or like, is it okay that I feel this way? Is it valid? Should I,
mm,
there are limitless questions you can ask yourself about like anything that you're feeling in your life. But if you, and like it takes a certain amount of privilege for sure. But if you have the space to think about that openly without like panicking or getting paranoid about it, then I think that's when you can start to like really learn stuff about yourself and learn to like give space to your feelings and not beat yourself up if you're feeling anxious or scared or tense or anything.
Yeah. Do you actively practice mindfulness? I mean, because that's what mindfulness is. So it's actually a silly question. You do, but like, are you aware that that is like practicing mindfulness when you're doing it? I guess.
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Especially because it's often intentional when I'm doing it.
Right.
Like you usually like before I have a moment like that, uh before I'm start actively practicing mindfulness, there will be something that'll occur or dawn on me throughout the day, and I'll kind of bookmark it and I'll use that same language. I'll be like, I want to get curious about that later.
Mm,
And then like usually at the end of the day, kind of right before bed is when I'll like turn out all the lights, and it's kind of like meditation in a
totally.
way, but it's me just really like focusing on that feeling or the thought, whatever it was that I wanted to really spend time with. And I'll usually like, it's an intentional practice too, in the way that like I'll usually start out by like I'll do gratitudes, you know, like I'll sit
Mm,
down and sometimes I'll acknowledge like, okay, whatever I'm about to think about might be scary or hard or new or whatever. So I'll say like, I'm grateful for, you know, these 5 things that happened today, and I'll just go through either good things that happened or, you know, positive things that I can think of. So there is a lot of intentional mindfulness that I
oh,
try to practice. Yeah,
that's so good. That makes me so happy. I think that's such a skill set to have. And so
totally.
for people who listen who like, oh man, I wish I did that.
Hmm.
Just start, and it's okay to be bad at it because
Totally.
you can get better. It is a
Absolutely.
skill set for sure. And obviously some people are going to be naturally more gifted at it than others, like all things, but you can
Hmm.
totally get better at doing it.
100%. Yeah, I'm sure I was garbage at it when I started. And like, I, for me specifically, I think one of the ways in which I was bad at it is like, I would go into moments like that with an expectation of a certain outcome. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, I want to, like, I have this feeling and I want to change that feeling.
Yeah.
Or like, there's this specific thing in my life. So I'm going to think about all the reasons why, like, that can and should happen or whatever. Whereas
Yes.
I think as you get better at it, what you kind of realize is like, it's more about, and this is reflective of like the general state I feel like I'm in currently in my life, which is,
Hmm.
I feel is very fortunate, is like you kind of just get better at going with the flow
Yes.
and being like, this is how I feel. Like it just, it is what it is. It doesn't necessarily mean anything or reflect anything, you know, overly poor or overly positive about me. It just is kind of its own thing.
Yes. Yeah,
And
one of the critical components of mindfulness is acknowledging the state of being or the feeling as it is without judgment. And so
yeah.
if you're afraid, just calling a spade,
Hmm.
and instead of necessarily trying to change it, it's just like, I'm afraid right now.
Yes.
And you know, one of the phrases I have a problem with is it's okay not to be okay.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's like it is okay to acknowledge that you are not okay. That is
Yeah.
actually critical.
Yes.
But if I'm not okay and someone's like, "Oh no, it's okay to not be okay," then it's like, well, "But no, I'm unwell." I would like it to change.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly. Yeah,
uh,
that
and
it'd
so
be
I,
like, it'd be
go on,
like
no,
if
go on.
you, oh sorry, but it'd be like if you were sick and there were medicine you could take to feel better,
Right,
and you'd be like, no, it's okay to feel sick. I don't need to do anything about it.
right, right. And so, but I feel like where mindfulness comes in, it's like I am afraid. You acknowledge it without judgment, and then
Uh-huh.
to your point is like, I'm going to be curious about this. And then so you explore it, and through exploring, you're confronting, because you're acknowledging you're afraid, and then you kind of live in it. And by exploring it, well, you immediately enhance your own bravery, because you're willing to confront whatever the fear is. And then by like staying in it and confronting it, it actually, that in it itself is the medicine, is the acknowledging and the staying with it to figure out what's going on.
100%. Yeah. It does not have to, like, it's okay if it is scary to start. It does not have to stay scary.
Yeah.
You can actually get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm acknowledging that I'm unwell or I don't feel good, but I'm actually excited to spend this time to try and figure out like what that is and what I can do about it. That's how I feel a lot of times. Yeah.
10,000%.
Yeah.
10,000%. So it's like, it's okay to not be okay in the pursuit of understanding. It's just like, it needs more, but
exactly. Yeah. It's okay to not be okay and try to get better.
Right. Exactly. In fact, that's very okay. In fact, 10 out of 10.
That's encouraged.
Very much so. Very much so. When do you feel like you started really trying to practice gratitude and be mindful and stuff?
I think not super long after I moved here to San Francisco. So sometime probably in like mid to late 2021.
Cool.
It might have even been like into early 2022. And it's hard for me to pinpoint exactly because now I've lived in San Francisco for a little over 4.5 years. And like my memory of living here is like a memory of having been practicing those things in that space, in this space that I live in. So it's been most of the time that I've lived in San Francisco.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Awesome. See, this is why I love talking to you. Is because you're a very cool person, and and even though I would say I know you really well, I don't know everything about to this day. I've known you. I've known you for 10 years, and it's just cool because you're someone who's committed to personal growth. And when you have friends like that, and you start having conversations, you just learn about how they're also committed to the same things that you are, but in their version of it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the last time we did this, which was probably like a year and a half ago or so, I think it was kind of a similar thing where like I remember one of the things we talked about was like my physical fitness journey, and it's like it's the same thing, like everyone is on their own path. And like I would say the same thing about you. Like I obviously don't know everything about you either, but every time we catch up, whether it's on a podcast or at New Year's Eve or whatever it is, I feel like we could go for hours and hours because there's just so much that we can learn about each other or just update on each other's lives.
Right, for sure. And with something along the lines of mindfulness, it's an age-old practice. So to hear how you approach it versus how I approach it, and obviously there's going to be a lot of similarities, but as soon as you start talking about it, like, oh, whoa, this is so cool, because it's a skill set and it's a practice, and hearing someone else's journey is just also very validating, because you can even be someone who reaps the benefits from it, but when you hear about someone else reaping the benefits from it, it makes you feel even better about doing the thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, for me, it's incredibly validating because I think like one of the things that's unique about my experience in San Francisco is obviously that I live alone, and it's the first time in my life that I've ever lived alone. And I don't know if I had never had this experience, if I would have come to it in the same way that I am now. And part of that is because like I just have this space to myself, and I can be like unafraid to basically like talk to myself and say things out loud. And that's not to say that you can't, like, if you live with people, of course you can practice mindfulness. Like,
Of course.
you obviously have a wife and 2 kids, like, you can have
Mm-hmm.
roommates and you can find your own ways of doing it. But for me, it is like a really verbal experience. Like, I do kind of talk myself through it. And if you were around other people doing that, that'd be an incredibly vulnerable thing to do. So
Oh yeah, to like talk your problems out loud to yourself. People are just like,
yeah,
"Yo, what?" It's getting kind of
yeah,
real.
what the fuck? I'm moving out of here. It'd be weird, but it's good to know, like, not only that there are different ways of doing it, obviously, but just that, like, in general, that I'm doing it, even though I'm in here on my own, 95% of the time. I'm not doing something that's uncommon or unrelatable. It's an experience that a lot of people have. There's just different, I guess, ways of doing it, probably.
Yes, definitely. Along that lines, I had someone at work the other day. That's probably a few weeks ago, but come up to me, like, "Hey, I've been really good about the way I've been eating
Mm-hmm.
for a while, but I've kind of fallen off a little bit recently, and I feel like I'm gaining a little bit of weight back. Um, do you ever experience that?" Asking me. I was like, "Yeah, of course." And I try and give myself grace. I'm a big fan of the 80-20 rule, where I'm good 80% of the time and enjoy myself 20% of the time. And you don't really have I don't it's a visual thing that I go by, so I'm not writing everything down or something like that. But
Yeah.
she was like, "Okay, well, is there anything you say to yourself when you want a thing but no, you shouldn't?" And it's kind of tough because this is in a corporate setting where, like, this is a corporate employee and I'm also a corporate employee. And so some of the things I might say to myself are, while I don't think they're bad, might come off as a little intense. And so, but I was like, she's asked me, and so I'm going to risk it and kind of tell her. So one of the things, and I didn't make this up, was there's this guy, he's like a business, he works on helping companies increase sales and revenue, and he's kind of like a business advisor consultant, and he's got
Mm-hmm.
a big online presence. His name is Alex Hormozy, and
Okay.
he has this phrase where this is what hard feels like. That's what he says. And
Mm.
so I love that. I think that's so good because you often, like, oh, this is going to be hard, this is going to take hard work, and then when you feel that, you're like, oh man, this kind of sucks, I kind of want to quit, and that's part of
Yeah.
it.
Uh-huh.
But if you can remind yourself, hey, this is what hard feels like, you're kind of like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm actually, this is actually okay.
Right. Yeah.
And part of it, and actually good, because
Mm-hmm.
this is how you build willpower.
Totally.
And that was the one she went with, that she liked. But the other one that I was kind of nervous about saying was, and I do this when I catch myself on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
where someone texts you and you respond, and then you exit out of the text, and 5 minutes later you've been scrolling reels, and you're like, whoa, how did that even happen? I'll say to myself, "Are you a slave?" And and being
That's so,
like to your phone,
yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hell no. And so I'll put it down. But I think she was like, well, is that how you talk to yourself? I'm like, yeah, yes, but I don't, I don't know if it has the same weight to me as it would to you, where it's like, I use it as just like the most direct. It's so direct and so to the thing where, are you a slave? It's absolutely not. And it works for me, and I like it. And it actually makes me laugh when I hear it. I'm like, ha, no.
Yeah.
Um,
That's so exactly right, because, like, you're not actually, like, that language can sound a little intense, but you're not
yeah.
actually being mean to yourself when you say it.
No.
Like, I mean, there's a little bit of, like, kind of kicking yourself in the rear, but it's
Yeah.
motivational. It's not
Yes.
self-deprecating.
No. And
Yeah.
it's because I'm not. But
Yeah.
in that moment, the automatic dopamine pathway that is a phone just kicked in, and the phone
Yeah.
is meant to keep you on it. And so
Yeah.
that is, to me, that's another example of calling a spade a spade. It's like, this thing is meant to keep me on it for as long as possible. It is meant to more or less like kind of rule your life. And I'll not have it.
I will not allow it.
It's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think that's funny. Like there's this other one. The phrase is, all it takes is all you got.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's hilarious too, because it's kind of like, oh, that's it. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Is all I got. It's kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah. Like, oh, no big deal, just everything. Okay,
everything. You know, you're Thanos at the end of the line. But to me, like when I was training for the pump and run, and I'm in the middle of doing some bullshit in 15-degree weather, all it takes is all you got. All it takes is all you got. And then when you're feeling like ice in your lungs and it's cold and it's hard, and you know, this is what hard feels like. All it takes is all you got. I am right where I'm supposed to be, because this is where change happens. Change happens in this willingness to engage in the uncomfortable. And I'm uncomfortable. And so this, you're actually right where you belong.
Exactly. Yeah. You're saying a lot of stuff that really resonates with specifically like what is going on in my life right now. And if you really want to get into it, I feel like we can go so deep on this.
If you want to, I mean, it's totally up to you.
So like, obviously you're aware that I had surgery at the beginning of October.
Yes.
And that surgery, primarily, it was a revision from a surgery I had a couple of years ago.
Right.
And without getting too vulgar about it, the main, like, the thing that necessitated me having surgery was like the development of really, really aggressive scar tissue that needed to be removed from my previous surgery. And now I'm like 7 weeks post-op, but what I'm actively in the middle of doing is basically trying to prevent that from happening again. So there is a lot of like very active, very involved self-care that is required. That is like me spending a lot of time just with my body physically. And I had this conversation with my friend Michelle earlier this week, and shout out to her because she said something that like really, really changed my perspective on how I was looking at all of this. But I'm spending like multiple hours out of every day, you know, with my body, taking care of my body. I'm going to physical therapy appointments every week. And then I'm spending time doing like the stretches and exercises and breathing exercises that we go over in those appointments to try and, you know, make them habit basically and have a routine that I'm following every day. And I was beating myself up without even knowing I was doing it, because when I got back to San Francisco after surgery, I arranged with my job to work from home for the rest of this year, so that like all of that time that is required of me, like I could manage my own schedule as completely as possible and basically like eliminate as many distractions as I possibly could. It's like, even though I'm back to work, I'm working remotely, so my schedule is my own. All of that time that I need to put into myself, like I can decide when that is. And so I was doing this thing that I thought was helping me get through it, and it actually kind of ended up being detrimental, which is I kept saying to myself, like, this should be easy, because I had taken all of these steps to set myself up for success. I had done so much work to try and make it as easy as I possibly could. And so I was saying to myself, like, this should be easy. This should be easy. But naturally, like with any kind of routine that you try to uphold, or anything you try to change in your life, like if you're trying to form a new habit, like it's fucking hard, and it can be exhausting. And you can have a lot of anxiety around it, which I certainly have. And I was saying all of this to my friend Michelle, and the thing that she said that like really changed my whole perspective on it is she was like, it should be hard. she was like, you've done all of these things to like make it quote unquote easier, but think about what you're still having to actively do every single day and how much time it takes every single day. She was like, it doesn't matter what the context is, that's hard. It should be hard. And I
Shout out
just,
Michelle.
dude, I don't know if she'll listen to this, but if she does, snaps, because she she totally rocked my world when she said that, and that was literally only a few days ago, but in the like 4 or 5 days since then, whenever it was, I have already felt myself like just feeling a little lighter about the whole thing. Like I'm not going around saying like this should be easy or why isn't this all coming more naturally. I'm actually walking around saying this is meant to be hard. Like this should be hard. That doesn't mean that I can't still do it or can't get through it, but it gives a little bit more kindness to the part of me that like does struggle or does have anxiety or just needs more time to get used to this new routine that's developing and the changes that are happening in my body. So
Yes.
that that totally, like when you said this is what hard feels like, that's what made me think of that, because I
Mhm.
just it totally flipped in my brain, going from this should be easy to no, this should be hard, and this is hard.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I love it so much. And I one of the things that is tough about putting yourself out there, like on a podcast, anything, but the podcast as a fitness professional, is you talk about things like what you are saying, and I do, and
Yeah.
not only do I know, I have understanding, but I think I was hesitant because I know that some of these things I'm going to be talking about are things that I still struggle with.
Yeah.
And so I sometimes have the problem of when I hear someone talking about a thing with confidence and expertise, I'm like, ooh, they've got it down. And
Mhm.
they do a lot of the times, but that doesn't mean that they aren't also working on the thing. And, one of the positive benefits of teaching is it reinforces what you know. So teaching is another way to continue learning because you're getting better at being articulate and phrasing
Mhm.
things correctly so they're more digestible. And that is something that I've started to be able to give myself a little bit of grace with is, hey, it's okay if you talk about a thing with expertise and still struggle with it.
Totally.
You can give advice on a thing and still be working on taking that advice yourself.
Mhm.
I think it's important to be honest with that. So, and I think people like that because it's more relatable, anyways. It's like, yeah, um, I'm talking about this with understanding because I am like you. I am
Yeah.
also doing the things.
Exactly. Yeah. But we're just like we're trying. We're doing the
Yes,
best we can. And there's
yes,
no like nobody's batting 1,000, and that's okay. But
right.
like if you have this level of awareness or mindfulness, if you're willing and able to put in this kind of effort to not just like do whatever it is, like whatever goal, whether it's you doing the pump and run or me developing, new routines to try to take care of my body,
Yes,
like if you're if you're willing to have this kind of like self-critical thought about it, like that in and of itself is a victory. That doesn't mean that you're perfect every single day. That doesn't mean that you're thinking of it perfectly. Because
right,
when I was saying this should be easy, I wasn't trying to beat myself up. I thought that I was being helpful.
right.
but
Yeah. Oh, totally.
like when Michelle threw it back at me and gave me like a different perspective, I was like, no, that's completely like unhelpful because it's not easy. So like by default, it should not be easy no matter what I do to try and help it. So yeah, it's nobody's going to be perfect. Nobody's going to like knock it out of the park every single time. But if you try and if you talk about it the way that we're talking about it now, like It's like what we said way back at the beginning of this conversation about mindfulness is like, you can get better at it.
Yes. Yes. My sophomore year, so I've got a summer birthday, and so that means I turned 18 right before freshman year of college. And so my sophomore year of high school, I had just turned 15. And so I'm kind of on the younger side of my grade,
Mm-hmm.
but I really started kind of maturing, like from a puberty standpoint. It had started earlier, but I was starting to really like feel the effects. And so my sophomore year cross country season was way better than my freshman year. And I was working, and obviously I was working hard. But my junior year, I had the expectation that because I improved so much my sophomore year, I was going to continue with that into my junior year. And my junior year actually was probably on average worse, like my times. And the whole time I was like, man, like why are my times not as good? And it was
Mm-hmm.
because I was going in the mindset with the mindset as, because you've done it before, it should now be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you've done a thing doesn't mean that when you did it the first time it was easy. And that was something that it took many years. I didn't realize this until many years in the future, that just because you've completed the thing doesn't mean that it's going to be easy the second time. It's like if you worked really hard on something and you built and you built and you built, like it's still going to take building to do the thing. And so, you know, you can't, you like uh, Olympic athletes, like one of the struggles is staying in peak conditioning for
Mm-hmm.
worlds and then Olympics and then this. Like you have to have some downtime because
Yeah.
there is a buildup. You can't stay in peak conditioning year round. Um,
No.
it's impossible, and that's why. And you know, these are people that know their body so well and know exactly what to do, but they still have a team of coaches, because to move the needle that much, it takes that much investment from that many people to
Yeah.
move the needle. And so many years later, I finally realized it's like, okay, just because you've done something before doesn't mean it's going to be easy the next time you do it.
Yeah. 100%. Progress in almost any pursuit, progress is not linear.
Right. Right. And, there's no such thing as a perfect human, which is great because you can always get better. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that some lessons you won't have to learn again. How many
Exactly.
times have you had an experience where you're like, oh, dang, like this again?
Yeah.
Like
Didn't I just do this?
yeah, like I thought we had mastered it. It's like, no, you took your foot off the tiger, you took your foot off the pedal, and that's okay. Maybe
Yeah.
you had other stuff that you had to do. You can't be 100% on all the things all the time, and that's
Exactly.
okay. If something comes up and you have to put your attention elsewhere, and then you come back and you're worse at the things that you were once good at, well, and then this comes with practice, but give yourself some grace. It's like, I had to go do these things. Now I
Yeah.
can resume. I'm a little bit worse than I was, but that's okay because life happens, and sometimes you got to deal with stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. That for me has like, that's been an ongoing process of like developing self-trust. Like I've been on like, I think because we've talked about this a little bit. I've been on like a years long weight loss journey at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And my weight has fluctuated a lot over the last like 3 years. And like overall it's positive. Like I weigh 50 pounds less than I did in 2022, but I've got,
Crazy.
that needle has, gone each direction a little bit
Mm-hmm.
over those 3 years. And one of the things that I have to say to myself, like if I'm in a period of time where there's something going on in my life that requires more of my focus, so maybe I can't be as disciplined when it comes to working out or eating well, or I don't have as much energy as I otherwise sometimes do to work out or really focus on my diet. One of the things that I've had to try and remind myself is like, even though it's, just because you've done it doesn't mean it's easy. One of the things that does help me is like, you've done it before, so you can do it.
Yes,
Like,
right. It is both. It is both.
exactly. Like, something I say to myself all along is like, there's precedent. Like, you set the precedent. That doesn't mean it's going to be
Mhm.
easy, but at the very least, I feel like the trust that I've tried to develop in myself over the last few years is, even when things come up that do throw me out of my routine, I believe that I'm going to be able to get back into that routine. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy, and it doesn't mean that I'm going to start seeing results right away, but I trust myself to know how to kind of like get myself back on the path I want to be on.
Isn't that so nice?
Yeah.
There's like nothing better than that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I definitely struggled with the self trust for a while because post OU, I definitely felt correctly that I had poor work ethic. I've always been good about going to the gym and stuff, partially because I like it, and I've always seen the value in it. But I just thought I was not a hard worker, and
Mhm.
because I hadn't been working hard. But so it's like you're kind of right. And so as I started on like really being a student of discipline and trying to get into that, it took, we'll say, from like 20. I mean, the journey started earlier, but 2019 is when discipline, the concept, was something I was like, okay, that is what I want to really work on. It
Mhm.
probably took until 2023, like 4 years of doing it
Yeah.
before I actually was able to look at myself and be like, you actually are really hard on yourself, and you're different now. You're not
Yeah,
who you were in 2019. Personality is very similar. I've been pretty much the same my whole life personality wise, but
totally.
this this path you've been on, you can now trust yourself that if you have an off day or whatever, if you fail to live up to your ideal expectations for a day or two or however long, you will get back on it.
Yeah.
And having that faith in yourself that even if you get off the path, you'll get back on it, or even if you fall, you'll get back up, is just so I feel like it reduces your blood pressure, and like there's like a full body feeling where you're like, okay, well, I know I'm actually gonna just get back to it.
Exactly. Yeah. 100%. I feel like, um I don't know. Do you think there's something to like, as we get a little bit older, like, and I'll speak to my own personal experience. I
Mhm.
feel like as I get a little bit older, it's easier for me to have patience because I don't have the same like anxious energy that I did throughout most of my 20s. Like,
Mhm.
I feel like in my 20s, and especially when I first moved out to LA and was like getting started in my career, I had this constant feeling of like, I've got to be doing shit. Like, I've got to be advancing my career. I've got to be progressing in my transition. I've got to be, you know, stepping up in every area of my life. And for whatever reason, it would take like 4 podcast episodes to unpack how and why that's changed over the last 7 years.
Uh-huh.
But it has, in the sense that, like, whether it's just because I've done enough or because I've started practicing mindfulness and shifted my perspective or any of these other variables, I'm at a point now where it's like there's still so many things I want to do. There's so many goals I have for myself and so many things that I'm interested in doing in my life, but I'm not constantly sitting here like vibrating like I must do this now. Like, I'm able to have like a quiet moment and be grateful for what I have done so far, because I've come a long way from where I was in 2018 when I moved to California in a lot of ways. But I can also think about those things I still want to do and kind of take a deep breath and be like, there's time. Like, we'll get to each of those things in due time.
Right, for sure. And it kind of becomes, you you have the goal, right? And sometimes you have the mini goals where it's like, I'm going to get to this goal in this way. And I feel
Mhm.
like it's probably just comes with getting wiser as you get older, but the how you get there becomes a little less important
Yeah.
because you have a little bit of the faith in yourself where it's like, well, I'm going to get there. Maybe I don't know exactly how. I have an idea, but I'm actually just going to be open to whatever happens,
Mm-hmm.
and will take advantage of the opportunities that come as they come,
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy the ride. And there are very much goals that I want to have, especially that I have for Tay and our family.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they come true in 5 years, maybe they take 10, 15 years. I don't know. But part of the process that I now am really enjoying is the goals. Well, I want them to happen / need them to, um, are almost just you've already achieved things that you said would make you happy.
Right.
And and you have those moments where you enjoy it. You're like, yes, I did it. And then you kind of go back to status quo.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I'm trying to think about more is just achieving the goal is nice, but that feeling will come and go. It's more
Mm.
so about becoming the person that it takes to achieve the thing.
Yeah.
um, and and then the confidence that comes with that is I am someone who achieves things,
Mm-hmm.
not perfectly, not saying that, but but um, but I am someone who will become who I need to become to
Mm-hmm.
achieve whatever it is. Um, and it takes however long it takes.
Yeah.
And when I was at one of my buddies is a physical therapist, and I was helping him out, shoot a video for some new equipment that he got that he's going to use with his clients. And he had this book in his office, and you don't even need to read the book because the title is probably the best title for a book I've ever seen. The
Uh-huh.
title of the book was "It Takes What It Takes." And I was like, dude, I don't even need to read this book.
Yep.
It's
Got it.
perfect. It's perfect. It's
Yeah.
perfect. And I was like, dude, this is such an amazing title. This
Mm-hmm.
is such a great one-liner because
Yeah.
it's like, it takes what it takes. And, I feel like sometimes you can set a goal and you're like, oh, that sounds nice. And then you start doing the thing and you're like, actually, it's going to take X to achieve Y, but
Uh-huh.
I actually don't want to do X. The act of itself is not worth the goal, and that's okay. Like sometimes you set a goal and it actually doesn't line up, and so you get rid of it.
Yeah.
But I think the phrase "it takes what it takes" is so good. And if you don't want to do X to achieve Y, well, then you don't want to do it, and that's okay. But just be honest with yourself. Like, hey, that's something I'm unwilling to do, and that's
Uh-huh.
fine, especially if Y isn't worth it. So
100%. Yeah. And it's also really cool how it takes what it takes is impersonal enough that like that within that statement it's apparent that that's different for everybody. Like
right.
it takes what it takes for you, for me, for whoever else, and that's different across all of those experiences.
For sure. And like you and I could have the same goal,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's going to have a different cost for you and I both to achieve that goal.
Mm-hmm.
And we could both set it and be like, okay, yeah, let's do this together. And, maybe in a few months I come to you and I'm like, Sam, I, it's not worth it. And
Yeah.
to you, you're like, cool, it's still worth it to me. And and it all just comes with different personality types and different life circumstances. But you know if you want the thing, this is the cost.
Exactly. Yeah. I can hear babies in the background. Do you need to attend to that
No,
situation?
no, Tay is such a G.
Thanks, Tay.
Yeah, she's huge. That was something that was tough when we were figuring out, because I have a full-time job and then I have a
Uh-huh.
part-time job at the moment, and then I also do the podcast and make workout plans. And so,
Right.
and it's in service to a goal, but
Yeah.
that's somewhat irrelevant. However, when Tay and I talked about it, we had an agreement where it's like, if I have committed to doing this, are you cool with doing that? And she has um, been true to her word, and so that's been really nice. And so, while I do run the pod solo, it doesn't happen without Tay, bar
Totally.
none, bar
No.
none. And so let's make sure that's known.
Yeah.
And that was a little tough at first, because sometimes she's like, well, you're not working. I was like, yes, but I made a commitment, and we've kind of talked it out, and she's cool with that. And that doesn't mean that it's not annoying. Like, that doesn't mean,
Right.
like, when this episode's over, maybe I'm doing more kid oriented things, and she
Totally.
deserves a break, because she does. Um but yeah, no, she's been a total G with regards to making sure that I stick to my commitment of doing this bi-weekly, with the
Yeah.
occasional extra pod thrown in there here and there. So
Totally.
shout
Yeah.
out to my wife.
Shout out Tay.
Yep. It's actually funny because, every once in a while, Tay and I will do an episode,
Mm-hmm.
and those always do really well on YouTube.
Awesome.
Tay episodes are popular.
Oh yeah.
Your original episode is one of the most streamed on Spotify and on YouTube. So well done.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully the Samantha Bloomfield bump will hold true for this one too.
Round two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of cool because, when I started YouTube, I had like 3 subscribers, and then it was like, what in August, I had like 20 some. So, super small.
Mm-hmm.
My original, when you click on a YouTube page and it has like the video that is the featured video,
Mm-hmm.
I switched to that video because it was just a short of like one of the episodes, or one of the scenes from an episode with my buddy Alex, and I switched it to just a full episode.
Mm-hmm.
And in the past like 45 days, we jumped from 200 to 99 subscribers.
Wow.
And I don't know if it's just because I switched the video, or at this point, I've done like 40, this is 47, 46, 47, I don't know, of these. And so, like, I'm posting consistently enough on YouTube that the YouTube algorithm is starting to hook me up a little bit. But
Nice.
that one on my home screen, like, is now been viewed almost 3,000 times.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, with just like 90 some subscribers. And so that's cool. Obviously it's like, I was doing this when no one was watching. There's not that many people watching now, but it's just cool that people are getting some sort of value out of it now, more so, and it's connecting with some more folks. And so that's been cool the past 45, 50 days. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
Oh.
Well, congratulations. That's really awesome. And
yeah, I appreciate it. So we'll see how it goes. But this is such a fun thing to do, because one, I enjoy talking with people, and I feel like I'm getting better at something I enjoy. But two, it's a great excuse to just stay in touch with people and connect, just like we've been connecting on somewhat more abstract topics. And just, the goal with the show in general is just upward aiming, whatever that means. And sometimes it's a little bit less focused, but in general, like, that is one of the things I've been hoping to cultivate, is just upward aiming. The world is so crazy, and it's only getting crazier. And, and not even like politically, although that's part of it, but just generally, just there's never been more going on, and you've never had access to more information. And, I think human connection and striving upwards it's always been critical, and I think it's critical now more than ever, as you don't know what's true with anything anymore. So you kind of have to pay attention a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, let's just all commit to being as good as we can for each other. And I'm going to trust you and you're going to trust me. And let's just build a community that way. And, hopefully something good comes out of it. That's sort of the mindset.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome. It's admirable. And I do think it's something that, like, obviously it's going to take a lot of time to, build, and where you're at already is so impressive. But I think one of the reasons it does connect with people already, and hopefully will continue to connect with people already, is I think there are a lot of people in the world right now that would agree with everything you just said and just want to, like, hear people be kind to each other, basically, or just
Right.
be in spaces where people are just being kind or real or mindful or whatever it is. And like, I was this morning before we jumped on, I was catching up on the episode you did with Rob a few episodes
Mm-hmm.
ago, and talk about like an excuse to hang out or whatever. Like, obviously with that episode, like all I can do is listen to it. But for me, because we are all so close, it was like just the experience of like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends. I'm just listening to my friends have a conversation. Like,
Yes.
it's a really wholesome experience.
Yeah. I can't remember what episode it was, but our buddy Michael reached out to me and he was like, I was listening in the car and I was laughing and commenting along
Yeah.
like I was there because I know these people and that's not going to be the same, of course, for all listeners, but hopefully the conversation is authentic enough to where you're just kind of like laughing and nodding along and like, oh yeah. And in the podcasts I listen to, the ones I get the most out of are the ones where something is said, I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, and I start kind of talking, and I'm like, oh, I probably look like a lunatic if someone's watching me drive, and I'm just going like by myself, but I've been engaged, and and
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, and you relate to whatever's being said, and hopefully that's the case for even the people that listen to this show that may not know you directly or personally. Like, I think there's going to be a lot that people in general can relate to, no matter what.
Yeah, well, I got rid of Twitter like a long time ago, and I brought it back in my life within the past year,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm much better at managing now the negativity on there and curating my algorithm so it's less inflammatory. That being
Mm-hmm.
said, people are just like dunking on each other all the time on there, and whether it's just average users, politicians, celebrities, just like they'll like subtweet someone. It's like, well, blah 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 blah,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll trend and then it'll go away, and I'm like, what a what a waste. like you're not, it's not helping to dunk on someone because and some of the times it's funny, so I'm not going to say that I don't sit there and laugh if it's a good dunk, but like it's not moving the needle forward in terms of
Mm-hmm.
positive discourse. It's like, oh, I owned this person. It's like, yes, maybe, but do you think you helped anyone come to your side more? Do you
Right.
think you spoke to the other side and helped share your ideas in a way so that they understood? It's like, no, the people that agreed with you agree with you, and the people that don't agree with you are going to be pissed that you dunked on someone that they like.
Yeah.
I'd say the rare exception is if the point is so good that it's undeniable, but I think that's very rare. And so for me, it's almost like I kind of use X as like a where not to go, which can be beneficial. If you don't know where to go, just don't go where you don't like.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're avoiding something. But
100%. Yeah. But I don't think X is a bad thing to avoid in general, if you
No.
can.
Yeah. No.
no, and like my follow, like who I follow, is
Mm-hmm.
just like pretty uninflammatory.
Yeah.
But it's when you go to the for you, and it's like whatever you interact with. So it's like mine is a mixture of like Avengers Doomsday content. And then just like politicians dunking on each other. So I'm like, ooh, are these leaks real? And then it's just like, oh God, there's like someone getting murdered. And then there's like 6 hot takes about it. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't really need that.
No, you don't. And there's nothing like, it's one thing to be informed about whatever's going on in the world, but then when that comes with so much like inflammatory language or people being opinionated about these terrible things that are happening, then you're just like, you're ingesting way more anxiety than you need to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why I prefer, like, if I'm going to catch up on the world, like, I prefer the podcast method. Because even if it's like someone who I kind of like and then someone who I don't like, but they're having a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
I can give the devil its due. Where if like if the person, if there's like something I don't agree with and then they make a good point, I'm like, okay, good point.
Yeah.
I've just spent 2.5 hours, over 6 drives to work,
Yeah.
thinking about this and getting into the nuance of things, and now I feel like I can take that into my decision making and move forward. Whereas like when you're on X, you're just kind of like
Exactly. And because it's such an echo chamber, like everything is presented so matter of factly. You can't get on X and have the experience you would have over the course of listening to or participating in a podcast, because it's just like shouting into the void, basically, which is not a conversation between two people. It's not really that productive. And it's probably pretty often not actually done in the spirit of like trying to make any kind of meaningful change. It's like you said, like whatever you say is going to appeal to the people that already agree with you and piss off the people that already don't. But
yes,
a face-to-face conversation that does get more into the nuance of things is like a lot more kind, like
yeah,
in general, but also like acknowledges how complicated reality actually is.
10,000%, 10,000%. Yeah, it's endlessly complicated. You can
Yeah.
literally analyze anything infinitely. One of
Yeah.
my favorite examples, because this is in my For You, and
Mm.
I enjoy it because it's negativity that doesn't contribute to my anxiety,
Yeah.
and that I think is hilarious, is with this new Superman movie that came out in July. The Henry Cavill as Superman versus, what's this new one's name? David, do you know his
Oh,
name?
David
Cornsett?
Sweat, right?
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
bro. The the Snyderverse war is
Yeah.
ever alive.
Oh, I get texts about it still from people in my life. People in my life text me about like, hey, if Netflix acquires Warner Brothers, like what if the Snyderverse comes back? And I'm just like, oh my God.
It's so funny. And like, dude, people will go back and forth ruthlessly on X, like with gifs or clips from both movies. Just
Uh-huh.
like, did you even watch the fucking movie, you retard? And like just go back and forth, back and forth. It's just like, guys,
What
you
are we
can
doing?
you can just like calm down. But
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And they're probably like 15, or
Mhm.
or you just don't know how old these people are. But
Yeah.
people are like, I haven't even. Did you see the new Superman movie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I haven't even seen it, but I know what happens, unfortunately. But and I do really want to see it because I think I would like it. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I know there's a scene where he escapes like a black hole or wormhole, and they're like, Zack Snyder's Superman could never. And then the next person will have like a clip from Superman and Man of Steel flying away from like the collapsing world engine or whatever, where it gets sucked into a black hole. It's like the least they could do is watch the movie that they're shitting on, and it just, it's
Yeah.
amazing. They're like trying to like one up each other on which Superman is more powerful and stuff. I'm like, guys, you can watch Man of Steel and like it and watch this new Superman and like it, and you can like one more than the other, or you can dislike one, but it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's art, and it's subjective, and take it or leave it, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, and I guess like if that's the thing that you're going to be like taking to social media to like yell about, that's relatively harmless compared to a lot of the other things you could be spending your energy on.
Yes, yes. And then I also get a lot of just like pro Daredevil stuff, which I'm
That's right. Yeah,
obviously for. Obviously pro Daredevil in this house.
that's the algorithm just really nailing you. Like,
Yeah, right. It's just like a superhero show will never get to the point of Daredevil seasons 1 through 3, and I'm like, maybe
yeah,
that could
could
be
be.
true. That could be.
Yeah, so far.
right. And then I like click on that tweet and read the replies. And I'm like, yeah, I agree with that. That's all good. I do like the lighting in that shot. That's a good point.
Yep.
So that's my kind of echo chamber where it's just like positive components of seasons 1 through 3 of Daredevil, where I'm like, yeah, I could live in this space and don't care if I'm just sort of being told what I want to hear, because there's also some
Totally.
objectivity to that, but it's just silly.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean anything.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really quick, I super hate to interrupt the flow of this, but is it okay if I take a minute to go use the restroom really quick?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Totally. I'll probably do the same and grab another drink while I'm at it.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Sweet.
Okay, back.
Feeling refreshed?
Very much so. You remember in one of the Austin Powers movies where he pees for like 3 minutes?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I 1,000% know exactly what you're talking about.
That's basically what that was.
Austin Powers is underrated in the culture nowadays because those movies are hilarious.
Those movies are really funny. I feel like that's maybe partially in part due to the fact that Mike Myers is just like not culturally relevant really anymore. Like he's not around.
Not at all. Like not in anything. I think they're doing a 5th Shrek movie, so
Okay.
He'll be back for that. Obviously, that's like his. I'm sure he's just still reaping residuals from those. Like crazy, but
for sure.
He really doesn't have to do anything. But yeah, no, he's definitely not as relevant. But that pee scene, I can remember the first time watching that, because like he stops and then keeps going again, and it's just like perfect as far as just like a drawn out joke.
Yeah.
Like almost like Family Guy doing Conway Twitty cutaways.
Exactly.
It's that kind of energy.
Yeah, it's like the timing is perfect where like there's a certain point where like it would be too long, and there's a certain point where it's not long enough, but they hit like the exact right amount of like, this has been so long that it's absurd, but that's what's funny about it.
Exactly. Yeah, no, they hit it perfectly. And then also just like some of the character acting that he gets to do, because he plays, so many different people. Apparently on that movie, he was like, or on those movies, he was very much like no ad-libbing. Like it was all in the script. So all those jokes were just like as written, which is kind of cool.
No improvising going on in those movies. That's funny. I didn't know that, but
because it kind of almost comes off as ad-lib a little bit.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, so kind of cool. So I have about 30 minutes here, and I just want to make sure, is there anything, I didn't know if there was anything that you wanted to talk about like while you were on the episode.
Oh man, I mean, there's no one specific thing, and I feel like the stuff we've talked about already, I'm just like, I'm full. Like I'm gonna be lit up all day from this conversation. This has been good. So there's no one specific thing really.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I just wanted to make sure. Sometimes people come on and they're like, hey, I want to make sure that, since I'm coming on, can we please talk about this? And so I was like, yeah, whatever you want. One of the things, this is like a total sidebar, but my titties are like eating Iron Man, and it's been like distracting. Where it's like I go down, it's like what?
It just looks like he's sleeping, kind of like.
Right? Yeah, night Iron Man.
Yeah.
I think I had this shirt. I think when we were at OU, and then my dad had a spot in Millfield, Ohio, like by Chauncey, and this was a shirt that has lived there, and he recently just sold that house, and so I've gotten some clothes back that I haven't worn in a while, and this is one where I'm like, I'm probably like 5 to 10 pounds heavier than when I wore this, and so it's probably gonna have to go to like a Goodwill or something, because while I do like it, it's kind of rubbing me the wrong way in my armpit.
Yeah, well, it looks good. I mean,
well, thank you.
The fact that it's tight, you're like, you can really see the definition that you've got.
I was fishing. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I could feel it. I knew you wanted me to say something.
We've been on a Peter Pan kick recently. June really likes the Lost Boys. Don't know why. Just after reading, we have like some of those Disney books with like the gold spine, and she'll just go, Lost Boys, and I don't know. There's not a particular thing that happens in the book where they do anything cool at all. She just likes them, and so we watched Peter Pan, the movie, yesterday, just the classic Disney Channel movie or Disney movie, and I also bring this up because in that there are the mermaids at Mermaid Lagoon, and classically mermaids kind of have like the long hair, but your hair when we started and still now is giving mermaid as it creeps down.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you've got some awesome mermaid hair going on.
Awesome. That's exactly what I've always been going for. The kind of hair that, like, if I were completely topless, would just perfectly cover everything. Yes,
exactly.
Like, yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course. Yeah, that's kind of a crazy movie. Watching it as an adult, Peter is he's definitely a good guy, we'll call it, because Captain Hook is definitely worse. But he's a little mischievous guy, and he's not really that nice. He's kind of just like he's got a fun personality. He's like charismatic, but he's kind of very dismissive, and it's kind of fun to watch some of these kids movies now as an adult, and you're like, oh, okay. Like Wendy's kind of the main character of Peter Pan, and she's the one who ends up bringing about like the good things that happen and kind of makes Peter Pan a little bit better. So there's the Peter Pan reflection.
I would jump in, but sadly, I feel like Peter Pan is like a big blind spot for me. Like, I probably watched the movie Hook when I was like 7 years old, and since then have like never engaged with any kind of Peter Pan story at all.
Listen, shout out to Robin Williams, but I do not like Hook. I watched it as a kid, and I was like, this is weird. I don't think I like this.
Fair enough.
Robin Williams and I actually have the same birthday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, and obviously he's a goat. One of the things I did want to make sure we talked about, because it's been out, and so I know you can talk about it, is Andor Season 2, baby! Yeah,
we should talk about that.
Kudos to all involved. For sure. I mean, wow. Obviously I was a big fan of Season 1. I was really sick when I watched Season 1, and so sometimes it was kind of hard to pay attention because I was just like the most sick I'd probably ever been. But I know I enjoyed it. I've only seen it the once, and I do want to go back and watch it just because I know I'll enjoy it more now having seen Season 2. But Season 2 is pretty much perfect TV. It's like it's as good as peak Game of Thrones or close to it. I
Yeah,
mean, it is really so good. It looks incredible. Obviously, very high production value.
totally.
The performances are amazing. And
Yeah.
since it's out, I just want to hear what you have to say about it, and you know, give some scoop or whatever you're allowed to.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, it's something I'm really proud to have been a part of, even in like a, a fairly small way overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think of all of the projects that we've done in the time that I've worked at Lucasfilm, there have been things that have endeared me to each and every one of them for different reasons, but that I think is the thing that I've just been the most proud to be a part of as a fan of the
Mm.
Star Wars universe. Um, and I wish we were making more of it. Like I wish there was a season 3. Like it's a beast, and that's mostly because it's 12 episodes compared to, like, our series are usually 8 or sometimes even 6. But
Mm-hmm.
I think all of the time that it took, all of the work that it took, was very evidently worth it based on what you see on screen and the reception that show got. And that's maybe the coolest thing, is that, like, it's no secret that when it comes to the Star Wars universe in general, the content across any medium can be really, really divisive amongst fans, to say the least.
Totally.
uh, but that one seems to be pretty universally adored, and it's really cool to see that there's something that just kind of transcends above all of the. You were talking about people arguing about the Snyderverse on X or whatever. It's like this. I feel like Andor is it's at least one of, if not the thing we have that just kind of like transcends above that, and everyone, I think, pretty unanimously, at the very least, appreciates it, if not flat out adores it, and that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean everything. I completely agree with what you said, and yeah, we won't get into the Star Wars fandom because it's way worse than the Snyderverse
Yeah,
DC. It's way worse
I
because
put it as mildly as I could
yeah,
have.
it's so bad. um, but yeah, I mean, I think Andor is just completely undeniable, regardless of where you stand in Star Wars fandom, and um, you know, it's funny because one of the hard things anytime you do a prequel is what's going to happen eventually down the line.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think one of the things that Andor did so well is one the characters that are included that are not in Rogue One but are in Andor are
Hmm.
so incredible. Luthen is just
Hmm.
probably one of the best Star Wars characters, period.
Oh yeah.
Um, and it's just and then from a plot perspective, the secrecy and the manipulation on the side of the Empire.
Hmm.
On what was the world where they had like the cover story for like they needed the spiders or whatever. Do you know the
Oh,
name?
yeah, Gorman.
Gorman, yeah. Everything that happened on Gorman, from the initial setup of like the secrecy with the Empire, and how the main dude from he's not the main dude, but the guy from the first season who was kind of chasing Andor, and he's
Hmm.
just the guy at his desk trying to do his job, and he's
Yeah.
actually right to do his job, and his girlfriend high key manipulates him,
Yeah.
and just that whole thing, like the whole time you're like, oh my gosh, like it's they do a good job of letting the audience know that there's a conspiracy, and that the conspiracy has been it's like the Empire planning the rebellion, basically. It's just so in depth and meticulous, and stuff that the characters don't, so that when they're in situations you're just like, ugh, like it's a great job of show don't tell,
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely.
Yeah, that was a show that I was slow to watch, and like for budgetary reasons, we're not paying for like any streaming services. And one of my buddies, Peyton, who I had on the show, he was like, "Dude, I am going to give you my Disney." I didn't talk to him in years, and then I had him on the show, and afterwards he's like, "I want you to watch Andor so bad that I'm giving you my Disney Plus login, and you need to go watch it." And so I did, and it's just, yeah, I mean, it's definitely my favorite show that's come out in a long time. It's so good.
I'm so glad. That makes me really happy to hear. It's funny that you bring it up because just last night I was sitting here in my apartment thinking like we're coming close to the end of the year, and usually at the end of every year I'll put together like a top 10 movies list and then a top 5 shows list. And I was thinking about my top 5 shows of the year, and I was like, there's two versions of the list, because on one hand, like Andor season 2 is number 1, and that's pretty indisputable.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other version of the list is like, I worked on that show, so like I'm so biased and I'm so close to it that it almost doesn't even feel right to include it at all. It's like I need my top 5 to just disqualify it entirely, because it's like, yes, of course, that is like probably the best show of the year, but also like I've lived with it for the last 3 years, so maybe I shouldn't have it on my list.
Sure. When it came to production, like how spaced out was season 1 from 2, or like did they film pretty close?
I'm not going to be able to say exactly off the top of my head. There was
Mm-hmm.
probably, I want to say like at least a full year between principal photography of season
Mm-hmm.
1 and probably honestly more than that. It's not like when season 1 aired, we weren't already shooting season 2. They were still
Okay.
right at that point.
Okay.
So there was a pretty significant gap between shooting the seasons. There was obviously always work happening, because I think they started writing season 2 pretty much immediately,
Mm-hmm.
but production had a little bit of a pause for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And
cool.
some of that got slowed down by some of the strikes that were happening. Though I don't think Andor was affected as much as most of our other shows, because it shot in the UK, and
Mm.
most of the work on it was done over in the UK. So I think it wasn't affected as hard. Like production wasn't delayed as hard. There weren't as many actors that became unavailable for work because,
Mm.
in the UK, the union over there is they're equity actors rather than SAG actors. So the SAG strike didn't have as big of an effect. And now I'm getting into really inside baseball stuff, but
SAG is Screen Actors Guild.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Like SAG Awards.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Cool.
So yeah, it was, season 1 came out in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
We probably started shooting season 2 at some point in 2023, and then yeah, it aired in 2025. But I mean, they're, as you know, they're massive episodes and they're 12 episode seasons, so it was a big undertaking for sure.
Oh my gosh, and the fact that it just looked so good.
Mm,
I mean, it looks better than movies I've seen on the big screen.
mm,
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome. I saw someone had said that their favorite Star Wars trilogy was Andor seasons 1 and 2, Rogue One, and then A New Hope. I'm like,
yeah.
ooh, that's actually pretty cool. I kind of want to do that. Or like watch up, because then you get it's almost like the Death Star trilogy, kind of.
Is, yeah. And I will say, I did this when the show aired because I wanted to see how it felt in real time. But if you watch the finale of Andor season 2 and then immediately watch Rogue One, which is already an incredible movie, I
Mhm.
think hits on just an entirely new level.
Yes, yes, I'm sure it does. I watched it not too long ago with our buddy Eli, um, and I think I was in the middle of watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's so funny because when Rogue One came out, it's obviously probably the best looking Star Wars movie. It's gorgeous to look at. And I enjoyed it, but one of the things I struggled with was it is all these new characters that you're introduced to, and then they do get picked off, as you're approaching the finale. And so it kind of makes it a little bit harder to connect. But I feel like it has been enhanced by Andor. And so I remember when they announced Andor, I was like, do I care about this? I don't know. And then lo and behold, it just becomes like one of the best things in Star Wars, period. And
Totally.
it's just kudos to everyone involved. That's kind of how I felt about Loki when they announced a Loki show after Endgame. I was like, what? Like, I don't really get it. I don't see how that makes sense. And then Loki seasons 1 and season 2 are some of my favorite things in the MCU, period. Mm-hmm. Definitely post Endgame, full stop. They're incredible. So Tay and I, when season 2 of Loki came out, we were in a studio apartment before we got this house, and our TV was not much bigger than the laptop I'm looking at. Mm-hmm. And in the finale of season 2, I don't know if you can recall directly, but when that show starts, they do the Marvel logo going backwards. Yes. And they play the music sort of in reverse. Yes. And then it starts merging with the Loki theme. And I'm actually literally getting goosebumps. But Tay and I on this teeny little screen, we were going, what the fuck is going on? This is insane. And it's just the opening logo. And then the whole episode is just like, huh, 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 huh. And goes so hard the whole time. And I was like, I would pay to watch this in a theater. Like if I could rent a theater and watch all of Loki and just spend a day, watching almost 12 hours of that in a theater, I would, because it looks good. The score is like crazy.
The music is like one of my favorite, if not my favorite parts of that show. The score is nuts for that show.
I think the composer's name is Natalie. I can't remember her last name, but
Holt.
Yeah.
Natalie Holt.
Yes, Holt. Yes. Yeah. She crushed. That. So when Hiddleston was announced to be in Doomsday, I was like, the way that show ends, it's like he has to be.
Yes.
It is unavoidable.
It's imperative.
Yeah, it's necessary. Exactly. Because he's like the most important character in the universe, technically.
At this point, he's kind of crucial right now.
And so that was one of the things with the casting announcement. When they included that, I was like, okay, that gives me hope. Doomsday's been one of those things where I've been like cautiously optimistic, because I'm so scared, because I need it to be good, but as we get closer and closer, I'm like, okay, I think this is possible to pull it off. I think it's gonna be the hardest thing the Russos have ever done.
Totally.
It's not a task I envy.
Nope.
Wouldn't want any of that sort of responsibility on my shoulders.
Not at all.
But after Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, I'm like, let's fucking go. Let's bring it home, baby, because you've got a good thing going on. Thunderbolts was like the movie where it was like the MCU plot movie where the characters were great. It advanced the story in universe like no Marvel movie has done post Endgame. It somehow carried a lot of weight without making it seem like it did, because it was very character focused. And then that post credit scene was so good. I was like, oh boy,
here we go.
Here we go. So I'm beyond hype. The rumor is attached to Avatar Fire and Ash, there'll be a Doomsday trailer and a teaser, obviously, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And if there's not, no big deal. It's still over a year out, so it's like, whatever. But I know it's mostly wrapped, and obviously they'll do some reshoots and stuff. But I think the culture needs a little hit.
Yeah.
A little hitter for the people. People need it. Okay.
Yeah. For all the day ones, for all the
the day ones.
Yeah.
I was 12 when Iron Man 1 came out. Just
wow.
Yeah. I'm 30.
Yeah.
I'm 30, okay?
No, it's exciting. One of the things that makes me really happy about both Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four is going into Doomsday, I think it's clear like who the characters are that I'm really the most invested in, which I think before those two movies it was like, okay, like there's not really like a formal Avengers team right now. I don't know who the main characters are or who I should be expecting to kind of lead the Avengers movies going forward.
Yes.
Now I'm like, okay, Florence Pugh is like the heir apparent.
The heir
She's just incredible. Yeah.
So good. You can tell that she had fun making the movie. And I mean, Yelena, who would have thought like legacy Black Widow would be the one, but she is, and she's electric, and I'm so excited. And I don't envy Captain America: Brave New World, just because I know how that production was, and I know they were impacted also by the strikes and reshoots and all that, and so that movie obviously has some faults in my opinion. However, I do think it's cool. I think it did accomplish something in that Sam is trying to rebuild the Avengers as well. And I think it's cool that there might be two factions of the Avengers that are not civil warring per se, but are a little at odds with like a government sanctioned versus an unsanctioned one where same objective and there's homies, between Sam and Bucky. But that dynamic has me excited. And I've seen a couple set photos and I'm like, okay, I said cautiously, I'm optimistic. I'm just fully aboard the hype train in all honesty, but I just say that to temper any sort of potential disappointment. Not that I'm expecting any, but I think it's a good time to be a Marvel fan, and also Spider-Man: Brand New Day is just like looking like a masterpiece. I don't like to say that before a movie comes out, but like they've crushed the set photo releases, and Shang-Chi is underrated as a Marvel movie, and I'm so glad that director is doing Brand New Day. I think he's great. I'm excited for Wonder Man because he was involved in that. So I think the Marvel critics will get to enjoy themselves this coming summer and winter. The next year is going to be awesome. One of the things I wanted to talk about, what you brought up with the screen, the strike, was my cousin and I went to a Comic-Con. Did I tell you this?
I don't think so.
So in September of 2023, my cousin and I went to Cincinnati Comic-Con, and we saw Paul Bettany at a table and just got to hear him talk. But I remember feeling so bad for him because he couldn't talk about anything because the strike was going on. And so they had the line of fans asking him questions, and the moderator basically multiple times would be like, guys, stop asking questions about Marvel stuff. He can't talk about it. And so basically fans were just going up and were being like, I really loved how you portrayed Vision, and I really liked how you portrayed him and Wanda's relationship. So thank you. They like couldn't really even ask, and he would just be like, "Yeah, I appreciate it." I felt so bad for him though, because you had all these fans who just like showed up and like they couldn't really ask him anything because he would just get fired and then couldn't work ever in Hollywood again.
Oh, poor guy. I feel like I can relate a little bit. It's like, yeah, can't really talk about it that much.
Yeah,
would love
for sure.
but
right. Yeah, I'd like to stay employed.
100%. That's awesome. I mean, did you get to go up and meet him while you were there, or?
No, we didn't get to do that. We also sat through a panel of the voice actors from Star Wars Clone Wars.
Nice.
Which was cool. So like the voice actress for Ahsoka was up there. And they all like seemed to just love the show. I mean, the voice actor who did Anakin was up there. The guy who did Obi-Wan was up there. Mm-hmm. And they were like doing like in conversation with each other. They were doing lines from the show. And I'm like, you guys just love this because it's coming off like you do. And I love it.
There's a lot of joy in that world. I work primarily on all of our live action projects, but you know, our team operates adjacent to the animation team, and it's always apparent how much just like joy and enthusiasm and warmth there is for all of those projects. And like we work with our composer for the show Ahsoka was Kevin Kiner, and he's done the music for like all of our animated projects, Clone Wars, Rebels. He's working on the Darth Maul series right now. He like, even when you talk to him about any of the animated projects, like you can just feel the level of like excitement and joy that exists in that world. Like I don't know how to describe it. I certainly can't do it succinctly, but there's just like, it's like a big happy family almost.
I love it. That's so good. Yeah. Sam, we're coming up on 3:30 here. We're gonna have to start getting ready to go to my mom's, but you cool if we wrap it up and then you can say goodbye to Tay off air?
I'm very cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing this, Sam. I love you so much. This was about 2 hours that flew by. So thank you. This was great.
Yeah. Thank you for having me again. I'm glad we could do it. And hopefully it's the second of at least a few more, but I'm just really glad that we got to spend some time together and catch up.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Bye, everybody. What's up, everybody? It's Jake here, Fowler and Friends. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Really means a lot to me and all of us over here at Fowler and Friends. So if you could please like, subscribe, comment, do all of that. But definitely subscribe, share the videos with your friends, and keep on supporting the channel. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.